While we've known for a long time that printing miniatures on filament printers is possible, we also know that resin printers make the best 3D printed miniatures, but they're also messy, toxic, and frankly out of the question for most people. So what if I told you that this was printed on a completely stock Bambu Lab P2S printer in FDM? No resin, no tuning. It's alright, eh? And yeah, it's okay, but by the end of this video I'm going to make this mini even better. Not to beat the details in a resin printer, that's not going to be possible. My original goal was simple, just to print miniatures at home. And that's how I came across today's sponsor CG Trader when I downloaded this incredible night proxy 3 or 4 years ago. More about CG Trader later in the video. But when I first got into 3D printing, FDM felt confusing and honestly, it looked a bit crap. So I went all in on resin printing instead, because resin is still the gold standard, especially for display quality miniatures, and particularly if you're painting them. But let's be honest, it's just not practical for most people. At best, it's messy. At worst, it's toxic and genuinely dangerous if you're not careful. If you live in a flat, or you've got kids, pets, or just a normal life going on, resin is not the best option for you. So the real question isn't, is FDM printing better than resin printing? Resin printing clearly has the edge. It's how close can we get with FDM printing before it's good enough or that we stop really seeing the difference. Actually, quick pop quiz in the comments though. Is anyone actually printing their miniatures in FDM at the moment? And if so, how are you getting on? Interested to know. So obviously the main point of this video is trying to print the best looking mini in a reasonable amount of time. And in order to do that, first we have to test the default settings. And there's a setting that you're going to want to change early on because it's really going to affect how the miniature looks. And we'll talk about that in just a second. And then we're going to tweak those profiles as many times as we need to until we've got a good looking miniature. Then with all that knowledge, we're going to print out a maximum effort miniature. Well, then I'm going to paint it and compare it directly to resin. All right, no tricks. The first test is a benchmark standard profile, 0.4 nozzle, 0.2 layer height, auto supports, literally select the thing in Bambu Lab Studio, hit print, and okay. Hey, Astronaut here. Let me tell you a little bit about me. And I came from CG Trader, the world's largest provider of online models. CG Trader have a huge library of 3D assets, from minis to terrain to loads of other stuff too. Digital assets you just won't find anywhere else. I'm genuinely thrilled to be working with CG Trader on this video because they've been my go-to source of models for projects since one of my very first videos. Recently I've used them for masks and dragonflies and roses and busts. If you want it, the chances are it will be on that website. Thanks to CG Trader, you can grab 10% off the whole site using the code RisingApe. I'll leave a link down below if you want to go and check them out. But let's just jump back into the video because I was on a roll and this is already better than expected. You only have to look a little bit more carefully, and this is the exact reason people still don't take FDM printing seriously. Look at this, it's got layer lines, it's got soft details, it's got support marks. From a distance, yeah sure, totally fine. Up close? Well, it's not really close, is it? So let's fix the most obvious stuff first, and the simplest stuff to fix for me is just simply tweaking the profile in Bambu Lab Studios. This is a 0.1mm profile and this is a 0.8mm profile. And it's a big difference, eh? But we can go even further. So now we start tweaking. No, that's twerking. And this I think is where most people go wrong. They're just scared to dive a little bit deeper and start messing around with the printer. So the thing we're going to try and change that's going to make the biggest difference is changing nozzle size. That one change I mentioned earlier, this is it. This is where things are really going to start to shift. So I grabbed a nozzle from Amazon. I would have grabbed one from Bambu, but they wanted to charge me £4 for postage and really tight. There's not even any screws to replace the nozzle. You just unclip 2 clips, pop it off, pop the new one on, and away you go. You just need to change a few settings in Bambu Lab Studio to register the fact you've changed from a 0.4 to a 0.2mm nozzle, and away you go. There is a huge jump in resolution on the miniature. You've got sharper edges, clearer details, and better definition. But while a new nozzle is only 15 quid, things do start getting expensive here. Not in money, in time. Just swapping to the 0.2mm nozzle added hours and hours of print time. But there is one change here that can cut hours off your print, and it can make the result better too. And that change is the orientation of the mini. It's an easy concept to understand. Essentially, if you make the mini flatter, there's less layers to print, and so it takes less time. But the slightly more complicated thing to understand is that depending on where that mini is orientated and where that final layer is, depends on where the layers are going to appear when you're looking at it. Here's an example. Take this miniature here. If I'd orientated this mini slightly differently, the final layers wouldn't be right in the middle of the visor. Therefore, the bits you look at first when you're looking at the miniature can be in different places depending on how you orientate it. So simply by changing the orientation of the model can dramatically affect the overall look of the model. Now, depending on which miniature you're printing, you're going to need to play around with the orientation yourself, but it's definitely worth looking at. Now, changing from the nozzle should have been a simple thing. I was expecting just to frankly just change the stock settings on Bamboo Labs. That's been my experience so far, but for whatever reason, the 0.2mm nozzle wasn't as simple as all of that. So after a couple of failed prints, I had to go back into the slicer and do some calibration. This was a relatively simple fare. It's a calibration test that's built into Bamboo Studio, and I literally just looked at the flow rate. After deciding on the best profile, I added that temperature, and then just for good measure, I also increased the temperature of the nozzle by 10 degrees. And that seemed to fix the issue. Up till this point, we have seen steadily better results by just tweaking the profile, and now we're on the best profile possibly available as stock on Bamboo Studio. So we're going to run that print and see what the final version of the miniature really looks like. In fact, this print took so long that I almost didn't have time to film it to include it in the video, but I think it was worth it. I mean, this is kind of ridiculous. The fine details are visible, the shapes are readable, it's almost resin-like. The catch is obviously it took so long to print. I mean, over 12 hours to print this miniature, and that's slow even for a resin model. And that's the trade-off with FDM. But when you compare the two models side by side, there's still no doubt that resin gives you a better finish, better result. But there is of course one final test that matters more than all of this, and that's a real world test. Now I did a simple, non-fancy paint job on both models. Just a prime with my Galerai Mobius TG airbrush, and then a basic sketch on each, no fancy tricks. I just want to show both models with a similar paint job to show what a painted model can actually look like. And this is the main point of the whole video, so thank you for sticking around this long, and also thanks to sponsor CG Trader for supporting the project. Yeah, thanks CG Trader. So as you can see, once painted, the difference shrinks a lot. I mean, at tabletop distance, they're nearly identical. I actually don't know that I could tell the difference between each model without actually knowing which one's which. Close up though, resin still edges it. But do you care? Genuinely, please let me know in the comments. I think this is really impressive. So the question I want to ask is, can FDM replace resin? Well, I think maybe one day, if you're talking about a one-to-one replacement of resin printers, maybe one day FDM can do that. But I think we're still a way off yet. And don't get me wrong here, there's still a lot we can do to fix this model. If you flip the model over, there's lots of support scarring on the back. There's all sorts of weird little details that just mean it's hard to pass off as a genuine tabletop miniature, so it's not completely there yet. I am looking for ways to improve this, I'm sure there's lots, and I'm happy for you to drop comments down below if you want to help me along that journey. Maybe this is a follow-up video if this is popular with everybody. But I think the point I've learned from this video is it doesn't need to. Because for most people, and if you're one of them, let me know in the comments, this is already good enough. FDM printing's easier, it's safer, it's cleaner, it's more accessible. And so, unless you're really chasing the painting aspect of the hobby, I would say FDM printers are actually good enough for gaming minis right now. So I really hope this video has been useful to you, and if you watched this far, thank you so much. As ever, a huge thank you to anyone who has watched it this far, liked the video, commented below the video, because it all helps the algorithm, and I'm incredibly grateful. If you have watched this far and you're not subscribed already, why not? Please click the subscribe button and join me on the rest of the journey. For those of you who have already done that, or for those of you joining the chat on my Discord server, or who are signed up as patrons, you are absolute legends. I am immensely grateful, and hopefully you know that. So we've got a whole litany of exciting projects on the way, and I will see you in some of those. And obviously there's some videos on screen now which I think will be of interest to you, so do go head over to those and watch those as well. If you do that, I'll see you in the next video, but for now I'll just say that I've been James, this is RisingApe Minis, and I'll see you next time.